Andrew. Nice.
Right.
There we go.
We're back. I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway, we've got chat open and what have you. So we're gathered here, ladies and gentlemen, today because I've been speaking to Luke Canham of Multiply Me. I've mentioned it to you guys a little while ago, and Luke's business, he will explain it. I won't go into too much detail. My perception or my suspicion is that the Multiply Me platform and the processes they use could very well be an opportunity for black belt members to create a platform or a portal for their procedures. I've been a mad keen proponent of procedures and systems and so forth for a long time, well before black belt. I even said to Luke when I was speaking to him on a podcast the other day that I created a whole software platform, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, specifically for this purpose, but it wasn't based in video. And the thing that's exciting to me is that the majority of people now want their content delivered to them via video. YouTube's the second biggest search engine on the planet, and having a system where people can create, consume, refine and modify the systems and procedures for your business and get the whole team involved sounds like a really cool opportunity. So I've asked Luke to come and chat to you. He's going to share with you his platform and the process and the philosophy behind it and the value of doing it by video. I'll let Luke run the show, but I'm sure that you can jump in and ask questions whenever you like. Probably the best way of doing it is if you've got a question, just jump into the chat and then I can ask that question on your behalf or get you to open up your mic and ask the question with a bit more detail. But welcome, Luke and Andrew, and off we go.
Very good. Thank you, Mick. Thanks for the intro. Thanks for having me here, guys. I believe this is a weekly catch-up. Is that right, Mick, this meeting?
Yeah. So we normally have three momentum calls per week, a Monday, getting ready for the week, a Friday, how did we go? And generally the one in the middle is just sort of how can we help you move toward the outcome that you want? And just from time to time, it turns into a bit of a training session as per today.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, guys. What I might start with is just sharing a little bit about who I am so we can level with you. You may think that I'm a video guy because I've got that written everywhere, but I'm actually a carpenter and started like you guys, probably did a carpentry apprenticeship. I went into building and then I actually had a scaffold company as well. I built that up. It was in residential construction. Are most of you guys in residential or commercial or both?
Residential.
Mostly residential.
Cool. So one day I was apprentice, had two, actually I think I was just out of my time, but I had two A-frame step ladders. I planked between them on the top rung so I could do fascia and gutter at about 3.5 meters, which you've probably seen and done yourself. The ladders slipped out. I grabbed the gutter and down I came. I didn't get too hurt, but I realized that something needed to happen in the building industry. So I went on a journey of creating a new wall hung scaffold system. So are you familiar with BuildSafe or Star Scaffold? They've got the hang on. I created a product called Edge Deck Scaffold. So I was in competition with those guys, commercialized the product, built it up. I franchised internationally. And about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I sold all of that. I still love carpentry, still love putting the nail bag on and, doing something, a bathroom reno or something comes up, I generally jump in. But something that happened on that journey when I was, so I still had some building contracts going and running the scaffold business. Something happened, a couple of serious accidents in the business that I still feel uncomfortable over. A man was electrocuted on one of my scaffolds and another man fell down a stair void. My leading hand, very simple accident. He was actually just talking to the person who owned the building as they were standing near the stair void. It wasn't fully protected. One side was, the entry where the ladder wasn't. And as he finished the conversation with the client, he just took a step back and went straight down the stair void. Such a simple accident. But experiencing those two accidents are something that I've now taken into Multiply Me, and it's part of the reason why video training is really powerful. But going through those accidents, has anyone been through a serious accident in their business yet? Okay, so I can see Hugh there nodding. Something that I experienced, and I don't want to be the guy here that's going to sit here and say you're going to have accidents, because I've seen people do that, and it's not about scaring anyone into this, but I just want to share my experience, if that's cool with you guys. And Hugh can probably back this up. What I experienced was, yes, someone's been hurt, so you have to live with that, and their family is also impacted. But there's a massive cleanup mission. You need to be able to display to the authorities or to whoever's looking into your business. Mine was Safe Work Victoria. How you run your business, like how do you train people? How do you give them a space to contribute to training? Like, how is all that done? And I had a pretty good system. I was taking photos of toolbox talks. We had, a suggestion box. Who has a suggestion box in their business, or somewhere people can give you ideas? Everybody have that? A couple? So that's something that's the first thing that the investigators actually look for. They say, where do your people contribute? It's actually a requirement in your business to have a suggestion box. And most people just have the old wooden box on the bench, and it's got spiders crawling out of it, but it actually needs to be there by law. I didn't have that at that time, so we put in a suggestion box, but 10 years it took to unfold these couple of accidents in my business. So that was 10 years of worrying what was going to happen, 10 years of wondering, I just didn't know the outcome. So there's a massive piece of uncertainty. And that's something that I don't think any business owner realizes when they go into this. If someone's seriously hurting your business, there's actually jail time in Australia. Like, it's serious business. We're not just, go get a rap on the hands. So what I learned out of all of that system was a way to protect a business like a body armor. And that's what I now call the IDR mindset, IDDR mindset, which I'll explain to you in a minute, how using video can protect your business in 2 layers. The first is being proactive, which is predicting where those possible issues could be in your business and creating video training and then deploying that to your people. So you're actually supporting them before they get to the problem. And if there is still a problem, you can prove as a business that you did all that you could. And that's the term that was used in court. Has this business done all they could to prevent what happened today? Regardless of the accident, you want to be in this position where you can say, I have confidently done as much as my business can possibly do. And I was in that position. So I was in a very, favorable position through that process. So what I'm going to share with you is, I want to take a step back, and instead of just talking about video training, if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to explain why video training is the way forward for, for doing your training. So Mick, I'll just jump onto this other speaker, if that's cool. Can you just tell me, oops, I'll just turn that on. I hope everyone appreciates that I've been in the building trade and understand where everyone is at. All right, Mick, can you tell me, does that still sound okay for you?
Yeah, that one's not working. You need to turn it up.
No,
Okay, how's that?
no.
Oh,
All right.
there we
Can
go.
you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, guys. Thank you. So you'll see on the top of my sign here that one of our most prominent marketing lines is never explain it again. Has anyone experienced ever telling or explaining a process more than once in your business?
I have.
All right.
Countless times.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it does go round and round and round. So a lot of time when I start with a customer, we talk about what's the most Most important thing in your business. What would you ask for if you could have one thing in your business? You could have more of it. What would it be? We have some suggestions, or chuck them
Couple
in
of
the
chippies
chat.
with brains.
Chippies with brains, common sense. Yes, that's good. Staff, I'm sure there's money in there, but what about time? Would time be the foundation to the thing? If you had more time, you can create more money, you can train more common sense, you can do all those sort of things. So I can see a couple of nods there. I haven't got all of your names yet, but Anthony nodding away. So time.
I was thinking if you had decent chippies, you could create time.
Can go that way too, but I think decent chippies at the moment are bloody hard to get to. I've actually got an interesting video which I can share with you. I'll just grab your name, Craig, about how to use a blender to create more experienced chippies. It's a bit of a joke though, so I'll show you afterwards.
No worries. I'm starting with apprentices.
Well, that's even more common sense needed. So
Yeah.
if we all agree that times are one thing that we need in our business, and at the moment we need to unlock more of it. We've all got the same amount of time, and it's just how we're using it. And I know that Mick speaks to you guys about multiplier, using some sort of multiplier every week. What can you do this week that's going to unlock a bit more of that time and maybe systemize your business? So Multiply Me is exactly that tool. And I think, or I believe that's why Mick is so interested in combining our forces. So there's something called RRTE. Does anyone know what that is an acronym for? It's possible not, because it stands for repetitive, reminding, training, and explaining. So repetitive, reminding, training, and explaining. Does anyone see that going on in their business at the moment? Is there an element of that going in all of your businesses?
Everyone's nodding.
And finding a solution to fix that would seem like a good idea if we could find that today. So does anyone know how much, has anyone ever quantified how much repetitive reminding, training, explaining is costing your business? Has anyone done that exercise?
I think it would be scary.
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
so
I got one guy, I've got to spend 3/4 an hour every time he does the same task. And we've done the same task every second week for the past 6 weeks.
yeah, I'm going to ask you a question in a second about that, Craig. It was Craig, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. So at the moment, RRTE, I believe, is the #1 culture and profit killer in businesses, because it's the hamster wheel feeling. We're going around and around. We don't know how to jump off. We think the next week might be better, but quite often it is the same thing repeated. So if you don't know how much that's costing you, more than happy to jump on a call at any time after this meeting, and we can sit down and have a quick 30-minute look into your business, and I can have a look at the common verticals where it's happening and see what you're actually doing in those. And if it's all face-to-face, we know that it's costing you the most amount of money to do all that repetitive reminding, training, and explaining. So there's something that's happening. Is all that making sense to everybody? I'm sure. Easy to follow. So when we're delivering all of the RRTE, or there's something that we're doing in our business, we're actually delivering knowledge. We're trying to get the knowledge from in your head, or the key people in your business, to someone else so they can do a job to the same standard. So knowledge going from people here to another person here. And if you're doing that with one person, face-to-face training, all your repetitive reminding, training, explaining, knowledge delivery from one person to another, that's the most costly process that you can be doing. And yes, there's an argument for some of it does need to be face-to-face training, 100%. You can't do everything, via a video or whatever, but you can support yourself with video, definitely. And I think Craig just said, you said you've been teaching the same thing over and over. Why do you think that's not getting through? Like, why do you think you're still explaining that same thing?
Well, the guy's excuse every time is he's used to renovations and not new builds. And the other, he's been in the industry 7 years as a labourer, and I'm starting to put him through his time. But my first year, he was come straight out of school, August last year. I said, I need that block. And he just goes and does it. I've shown him once and once only. But
Yeah.
the first one, he's just too scared to make mistakes, too scared. It's some things he's really slow on the uptake, other things super fast.
Okay.
And this is just one of the things he's slow on the uptake.
Okay.
I've got to balance out, sort of balances out his super fast stuff with just this one. So I was actually thinking about actually introducing this as a bit of his training course, because he does on-site training. So actually getting his teacher to put this into his training course, so he might learn it a bit better. He's got to write it out.
Definitely. All right, so we'll move on there. What if there was a system that could identify all of the RRT in your business and then organize it in powerful bite-sized videos that could be accessed and delivered to all of your team anywhere, anytime? Would that sound like something that would save you time? I think so, definitely. So something that we need to understand, video training in traditional times. Who's done a basic worksite video, like white card course where you've fallen asleep on the desk and you're like, this is killing me. Please don't show me any more of this. That's what video training has been tagged with. It's boring, it's staged, it's unauthentic, we don't believe it. So the result is that we've actually just wasted time. We sat through something, we've come out the other end, nothing went in. There was no connection, there was no learning. And we're supposed to have been deemed competent at the end of it, but nothing, like it just doesn't work. So if we think about video training and helping someone when they come into your business, and think about everyone in your business is actually on some sort of journey. They need to go from point A to point B. In Craig's case, he said he wants his guy to show up, learn this particular thing, and then do it after the training session. That's a journey. An apprenticeship is a journey. Pulling off a roof is a journey. So when they're going from start to finish, we've got to look at how we can support those guys to do that job better. And if they're going, taking 3 days to go from A to B, what if we could get them to B faster without using your time? So you're over here and this person is actually getting to the end result, but using some other knowledge to get there. Because every journey we go on, the one thing that we need, if we have the right information at the right time, we're going to get to the end faster. Has anyone experienced doing something like an Excel spreadsheet and you can't do something, so you jump on YouTube, find the video, okay, understand the formula, you go back and do it, you apply it straight away. Yep, so that is the best way to learn. I think the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with that, but when we learn something in a classroom style environment, in the first hour, we lose 50% of what we learnt. And then I think it's something, Andrew, do you know this? I think it's in the next 3 months, we lose 90% of what we were taught. So we know that we need to learn and do straight away. And that's why YouTube is so powerful, because we can actually do it while we're learning it on one side. So this would take someone to the end result faster, because at the moment, your people might be out on site going from A to B and they don't want to call you. So they have to try and work out, which way would we go here? So there's time taken in negotiating, doing it the wrong way, and then possibly finding it was wrong and coming back and doing it again, or just doing it the wrong way and then you finding that it was wrong, or a customer's finding that it was wrong. And then that awful C word called the callback, that's something that none of us ever want to hear or hear from a client. Or our staff call in 2 o'clock in the afternoon and say, hey boss, this is not going to get done today. And you're like, well, why not? This was a half-day job. And they get confused along the way. So having this support along the way that doesn't involve you will definitely unlock the journey for people without having to involve you in it. So creating those videos on information that's going to support your guys to go through whatever journey they're going on their business is 100% going to allow you to have more time, which is going to result in more profit. That is great because every business needs to make a profit regardless of they say what, but that is the underlying foundation for a business. And by having more time, we can create more profit. But the byproduct of this is actually your team are happier. They feel more supported. And the outcome of that is that your clients are happy as well because they're getting a consistent service, very similar to the service that you used to give them when you maybe were smaller. You've employed people, and very common, your standards start to come down because they're not you. But giving your skills through these powerful videos when they need it, before they run into the problems, can upskill people much faster and create those consistent standards throughout your business without you even having to tell anybody. Who would like that in their business? Sound sensible? So why did we choose video? So I've been labeled sometimes the video guy, but I don't know which end of the video camera to use, to be honest. I know how to use my mobile phone very well. And I do know that professional videographers are super expensive. So we wanted to steer away from professional videographers, teach people how to use their own mobile phone, something they're already paying for and you can utilize. But the reason we chose video is that you can document something super fast and you can deliver it to someone really fast, and it's scalable. And once you've made it, it's there forever. So creating paper SOPs or procedures and systems, the way we've been taught over time is to create a document first and then deliver the document to your people. But would you agree in the construction industry that a lot of people don't read everything that's on a document? And that can definitely cause, inefficiencies. It can cause, hey, you didn't tell me that, but it was in the fine print. Me being in a building trade all my life, I actually can't read and write that well. So video suits me the best, and that's how I've adapted to learn just about everything that I do. So it's the fastest tool. And regardless that we've been told to do documents first, we actually believe in video first format. There you go, can't spell. Video first. And what that means is that if you don't have documents in place, we've actually been out to sites where the business owner doesn't have a document for a particular process. And we just said, show me how you would do this, train me. And we had someone else hold the camera, and we created the training created that training process, and then we produced the document afterwards and gave it back to them. So that is something that we need to bend our mind around, that we don't have to go and create these overwritten documents, because sometimes it's not actually how you do it on site. The way that you're going to get it perfect is actually you do the process on site and then film it, and then part of our service that we can actually turn those into documents if that was a way that someone wanted to go. For the most part, most people have documents in place, and we can use that document as actually the process to shoot the video. So there's a few different ways to create video, but I'll come back to the purpose of a video. Again, this is where a lot of video training falls down. That has again, we talked about it with the induction card training, is that they're staged, boring, and you don't learn anything really by the end of it. You just want to get out of there and get your accreditation. So the purpose of that video training, it didn't work. It delivered information to you, but you didn't want to watch it. So it was actually rendered useless. But influence is the most important thing that needs to go into a training video. Because if you can influence somebody to feel something or understand the video, they're going to go and follow the process. And that means the video training has actually worked. And by getting the influence into these videos, we use a method, like I said, user-generated videos with people in the business that know the actual process that they're trying to explain. And that is connecting really well. So business owners, managers, and even an apprentice could make a video if they had a process that they were doing really well. You could involve them in the video making. But generally, business owners and then someone else in charge are a really good person, someone of key influence in the business that can deliver the information and what we call social media style. So we're picking up a phone, they can even be selfie training videos. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, that that is actually a training video. We talked about this last week when we spoke, Mick, that if we had a roof tiler who was bedding and pointing some tile caps, and he had a really good method of getting the mud super smooth, and he had a good way of mixing it, he could pull out his camera and say, hey guys, I want to show you how to mix the mud. I put this amount of water in, and this is what I put in, mix it this many times. And then when I trowel it on, this is how I do it. He could record that himself or just get someone to record him. And that is actually a new procedure for your business. And that guy who's learnt how to bed and point that way and bring up the tile caps perfectly, that knowledge that's in his head, that is actually yours, because you're employing this person. You probably trained him at the start, and then he's gotten better over time through you paying him money every week. So his intellectual property and his skills getting better and better. You don't want him to get to an elite tradie and then leave one day. Or that is actually okay if he left, but you want to take the knowledge from him and his intellectual property that you helped him build and keep it in your business. So if that day comes where someone says, hey, Luke, I'm going to move on, I'm going to start my own business, that will hurt, but you don't leave this big gap behind him because you've been absorbing and extracting his information along the way. Does that make sense? Is anyone doing anything like that at the moment? Extracting information from key people who understand your business as good or better than you do?
Yeah, a little bit.
A couple of nods. And is that so, Craig? Was that you that just piped?
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got a third year, and so he's got mates who specialize in smashing up mass-produced houses. So I go, quick ask them questions on this, quick ask them questions on that. So he comes back wiser than he teaches me, and while he's teaching me, he's learning it again. Yeah.
Okay. And then are you keeping that anywhere, or is that a verbal conversation?
Verbal conversation, and we use it on we practice it on the next project.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So could you see that if he came back with a new idea and you said, cool, let's do that, we'll record it on the next project and put it into our company knowledge bank. Could you see that being another advanced step on what you're doing?
Off you go.
Okay.
So I'm just busy thinking about it now while you're talking.
Yeah. Okay. So look, it could actually, I got one more sheet of paper here, so I'll get that done before we go down a rabbit hole. Obviously, the biggest question is how the hell do we do all that? And I spoke to you guys earlier at the start. I said there's something called the IDA mindset. So IDDR. Now, IDA stands for constantly identify training opportunities. So identify. This is something that needs to be done. And what I learned in my court experience was if you are constantly identifying training opportunities, you are in a very good space in your business, because you're actually, you're being proactive anyway, but you are demonstrating to your people and anyone who needs to look into your business that there is a process to do that. So on our platform, there is like an electronic suggestion box. So instead of having the wood suggestion box in your business, there's something on the platform where anyone can go to at any time in your business and just say, hey, I have a suggestion. I think we need some training here. Or I have identified that there's a crack in something, or there's a trailer that's got something wrong. So they can photograph that and send it in. So they can identify training opportunities or even, risk, then develop on the platform. So our platform is where you actually develop the videos. So that means you create you identify a subject, you move it through to develop. And then from here, we start to create, okay, what's the process of making this video? What's the title? How many steps does it have? And we have a template to list all of that out. So we're starting to create the video or the SOP. Then here, there's a couple of options in develop. The most common option is that we have an editing service behind the platform. So what we do is help you understand what what needs to be captured. You capture that on your mobile phone, and then upload your raw videos into Develop and then send it off to our editing team, and we brand that and make it comfortable for viewing. put a little bit of impact on it, some on-screen graphics, not too much, they're not overproduced, but they're enough to make it a little bit more engaging. Or maybe an important word that has to come up, you know, do not do this. Something comes up, or we do some circling, that sort of stuff. So we do the edit in the back end and then put them back onto your platform. Now, we do that editing service because one of the things we found is business owners are super busy. We all know that, but you don't want to go and edit videos. It's not something that you need to do. So that service is in there. And as part of being on the platform, it is super cheap, probably cheaper than you could do it yourself, actually much cheaper than you could do yourself. Then Deliver. So the next one is Deliver. Once all those videos are made, they go into your knowledge bank on your system, and then you can deliver them out to individuals, or you can create a group. You might have framing carpenters and you want to teach them how to lock up the frames tighter. There's a certain method that you use to pull all the joints together, whatever it is. All those guys get that particular information. But what you can do, and this is common with tradies, is possibly something very simple like PPE or a sunscreen video. I know you might say that's too simple, but let's take a sunscreen video. You've got guys working for you for 15 years or 20 years. They're in the sun 70% of their time. There's a high chance that they could come back to you one day and say, hey, I've got a skin cancer and it's because I worked with you. And if you haven't recorded that you've told them to put on sunscreen and made sunscreen available, you don't have a leg to stand on. They will win that. Unless you can show confidently that you've done those two things, told them about sun is dangerous and made it available. So create a quick video that says, hey guys, when you're working at, Jim's Carpentry, it's really important. The way we roll here is we put on sunscreen every morning just to keep ourselves safe. And that is a training video. What that video can do is go on auto repeat. So you don't have to deliver that video manually. You could say, I want this video to go to everyone who works in the sun in my business once a month, and auto repeat like scheduling social media. And then that conversation is taken off your plate forever. You don't have to tell anyone about sunscreen ever again. A new video, hey guys, we put on sunscreen, I can't reach my own back, so I get someone else to do it, or whatever you want to do, make it fun. But then say there's also sunscreen canisters on the trucks, go around and show them that. And if they're ever empty, please contact management, or the supplies are kept in here in the kitchen. So you just show all of that so no one can ever say there was no sunscreen. But in doing that as well, you're also going to create awareness that people will wear sunscreen in the first place and prevent this. So that's the two protective barriers I'm talking about. Proactive, let's put the awareness out there to stop any of these issues. But if they do fall through the cracks and someone hasn't listened, your business is protected like a body armor. There's nothing that can get through it. So that is the Deliver method. So send them manually to groups or automate the whole damn thing. And that unlocks more time. And what that allows is, I found that a lot of my weekly toolbox talks were about the same things. In my scaffold business, guys, please wear your hard hat. Please come with your steel cap boots on. Have to have high vis on. Like, I shouldn't be talking about that stuff. Is anyone having conversations that they feel like they shouldn't have to talk about? So those things are RRTE. And they actually, for me, that was soul destroying for me. I got so sick of talking about things that I thought I didn't have to. This system, you automate them. Let the system take care of it and make your face-to-face conversations more important about actual real critical stuff that needs to be discussed face-to-face. You shouldn't be telling someone to put sunscreen on ever again if you use this system. And that's, the next one is document. So when these go out and get viewed, the system documents that somebody has seen them, their email, the time they did it, whether they said they have any questions. There's, I guess, what I call barriers in the modules. So when someone opens a video, it says, hey, sign on, confirm it's you. If it's not you, make sure you come in with the right password. So you make sure it's them. They watch your video. You ask them if they understand. They say, yes. Do you have any questions? No, I don't. I'm going to document this. Is that cool? Yes, they do. So they've been given a handful of barriers to say, I don't understand this video. And that is your protection through the delivery system. Everything's documented for you. tucked away in a safe place that if you ever need it. It can be used in, if someone comes to you and says, hey, Craig, been with you 5 years, I really like a pay rise. Who's ever been hit with the pay rise question? Most people. So you could use this system and go back to it and say, okay, I want to just, happy that you asked for a pay rise. I just want to go and check some things. Okay, every training module that's been delivered out to you, you've done on time. That's amazing. Thank you. And you've contributed 100 suggestions in our business in 5 years. And we've made 50 of those into videos. So that's a huge value add for that person. And you could then use this tool to say, well, yeah, I think you do deserve, a pay rise. Or on the other hand, if they said, I want a pay rise, I'm working so hard, but you can say, you've never contributed one, I mean, you don't say this to them this hard, but you've never contributed anything. There's been no ideas. There's been no collaboration. And when we've delivered your videos out, we actually have to send you a reminder to watch them. So you can use it to gauge someone's performance and, how they're interacting in your business. What we're seeing is that leaders in the ranks in businesses are contributing ideas all the time. They're like, we need a video here. Hey, I could see improvement here. And then that becomes, you've got an army of people in the field identifying what could be improved in your business. If you act on that, create videos and then deliver it out, when that person sees it, they know you've listened, they take ownership, they understand why that video is there because they were instigator. You might even ask them to help you make the video to create a camaraderie. And that's what's happened when we made these videos, like the team gets involved. I'll finish off this before I go into that story, but so document everything before you and then review. Review is the last piece of the puzzle because a video is just like a document in your business, but this is a video document. And every document through legislation has to be reviewed at a certain point in the future. In the platform, everything has a review date. You can set it for tomorrow, 12 months time, or whatever it is. As the videos come up for review, they go into a certain pocket in the platform that says, please check this video. You watch it over, you make sure it's still in line with your company, and then you move it back to library, or you say, hey, this procedure has changed. We want to add one more step, and that's communication back to our editing team if you want us to do it. And that kind of rounds out the system. So the item mindset is something that's the foundation to Multiply Me. And it was what protected my business in a very unfortunate experience, but I want to take that experience, put it into this platform, and then allow others to be able to remove the repetitive reminding, training, and explaining, and put a body armor on your business. It is as simple as that. And I'm not sure how much Mick has told you about me, but my ultimate in all of this is to create more time for business owners. And for me, that's more family time. My ultimate is to not be at work as much as I would have been before this, put it in place, and then watch stress levels come down. You're not worrying that someone went to a site and you just should have given them that little bit more support, or you just had that last chat with them so that they would get the job done right. Something that I used to do in my scaffold business, we had hundreds of people going out every morning, and I made it my job to be there at 6 o'clock in my factory every day for 10 years. I was the first one always there. And as a truck went out, I would jump up on the step of the truck and I'd say, hey guys, a quick pep talk. I'd say, hey guys, are you good? Have you got your harness? Have you got this? Have you got that? And I felt like that was my duty to make sure these guys left the factory with everything they needed. But if I didn't do that and then there was an accident, I would have kicked myself. So this, again, the video reminding system, you could be on a holiday and send them their morning pep talk. And that is really powerful. Does anyone have any questions that you'd like to throw in at that point? And could I get some feedback? Does that align with, everything that's going on in your business? Can you see value there?
From my perspective, there's a couple of things that I think that are very exciting about this. Not in any particular order, but you've already mentioned people turnover. It's one of the most expensive parts of a business, and you've put all of the effort in to find them, recruit them, train them, support them, nurture them, grow them, and then they leave with all of that stuff. This captures all of this. It stays in the business. So that is incredibly valuable from a financial point of view. The second thing is what I've noticed tends to happen with most small businesses is when somebody leaves, the boss, for instance, is the person that then teaches the next person. So the boss isn't generally growing and improving their approaches to do things. So somebody leaves and the boss trains the new people in the old ways. And so there's this almost 2 steps forward, 1 step back scenario when somebody leaves. They're going right back to the bare bones basics and then have to improve from that point, rather than standing on the shoulders of giants, that we call it, where the person who's spent a few years improving things has it to this level. And that's where the new person needs to start from, not the old level where the original person started from.
Yep.
The third thing that I think is exciting about this is the opportunity for the team members to be able to contribute to the creation and refinement of procedures. And in Black Belt, we talk about the weekly team meeting, and then the daily direction meeting is the implementation and measuring of things. But to me, this would be a wonderful tool or platform to be able to use for your weekly team meetings, where you can go, guys, what are the things that shit you, frustrate you, bore you? What do you hate? What's not working? And that can go into the discussion about how it can be improved. And then we could have a bunch of different people contributing to the creation of how things are improved. They could be then performed and talked about in the daily direction meetings, and the daily direction meetings are a great opportunity to get feedback for, okay, we've made that change, we implemented it, how did it work? It worked great except for this. And then there's an opportunity for a refinement, and it just becomes part of the culture of the business that we've got a weekly team meeting when we're allowed to talk about stuff that shits us, come up with solutions, implement it, measure it, refine it through the daily direction meetings. The only thing that I've found has been missing in Black Belt is a platform or a portal to be able to capture the content. And as Luke said, more than likely it's been documented. And like, who reads documents? Whereas this, you can create documents from this, but it makes so much sense to me that you just create it through a conversation, a speech, if you like, a presentation, to capture the process, and then that you can create supporting documents for it if you want to. But you know, I just think it's a potentially terrific addition to what we're doing here, because we just don't have anything that can capture this stuff in any sort of logical format, and then using the technology to be able to get it out to the team, get the team to contribute to it so it becomes part of the culture and it's constantly growing and refining. My 2 cents worth. You're muted, or your microphone's off or something.
Does this platform, can you put it into like the back end of your website where it's members only or something like that? And it's just a whole, because I've been thinking about trying to, along with Kyle as organising his business, I thought having a members only part where it's employees, they get access, and you have procedures and methods and pep talks and checklists and stuff like that sitting in there. So would this be able to fit in there?
Yep. So you're talking, can you hear me there, Mick?
Wind it right up, flat out.
How's that sounding?
There we go.
That's better. All right. So Craig, you're talking about a document control where you can put all of your documents in somewhere, make them accessible to your team, but then build videos on top of that to maybe explain the document. Is that
have
where you're
separate
heading?
folders with a video, or even have a document and have a hyperlink to a video, so so that they only read 3 sentences, which gives them the gist of it.
Yeah.
And here's a hyperlink to explain it. That's
Yep.
3-minute video explaining
All that
it.
is definitely possible. The video flows, or what we call modules, someone can open them up, they can read a document, then you might have a video after that to say, I just want to reiterate 3 of these points. So you can have a video there. You can have even applications where you say you've got a company car policy, and has anyone got company cars issued out to their staff? Have you ever found you've gone through the company car policy contract, they signed, they take the car away, and it hasn't been maintained, or it comes back to you only when there's a $10,000 motor problem and not when the niggle started? That's pretty common in big fleets. So what you can do with the system is also customize these video or these modules. So someone could sign on. You could say, hey, read, I want you to read this company car document. They read it, they sign off to say they've seen it. And then a video from you that pops up and says, hey, I just want to remind you guys that it's a privilege to have these cars. I really want you to look good out there. Please make sure it's washed once a week. That's a requirement. And make sure that rubbish is pulled out every day in case someone else needs to use the car. And then they sign off, say, yeah, cool, I got the video, I got the document. And then you could actually create another module after that went out to them once a month that said, hey, you've got one of our cars. Could you please go to the front of the car and take a photo? They take a photo, they upload that. So you're getting a quality check once a month on this car without actually being there. And that can be an automated video process or a module that goes out to everyone that has a company car, and they log a photo from the front, side, and back. And then there's a question that says, is there any niggling, is there any rattles? Is there any oil underneath? Like whatever it is you want to ask is a very customizable. So it's not just sending a video and saying, did you watch that? Yeah, all good. They're very flexible in the way that we can modify them into just about anything. We can send them out to external links while they're inside one of the video flows to maybe do a COVID check. That's been done. We had hand washing policies for a clinic, and they needed someone to go through that, but then go out and do a COVID check and then come back into the flow. So that's been achieved as well. All of these modules can also be QR code activated. So you might have a work trailer out on a site, but you want to have, just something basic, daily pack up of the trailer. You just want your tools put away right. So you might have a video there that just explains how to do that. That's not a great example because no one's going to make that video, but I'm sure we've all had our beautiful work trailer packed away by someone else and it just never felt the same. But we've got yeah, you can't find stuff. That's right. And there is a method to where you put everything in your trailer in a certain place, the carpeted box that you made, it's exactly how you like it. So it may be validated that you make a video on how this trailer goes back together if you're lending it out to subbies. In my scaffold business, we had over 70 parts on one truck, and they're all customized trucks with a pocket for everything. And if it got packed away badly in the afternoon, the next day was mayhem. You'd lose an hour on the next install. So those sort of, basic instructions, but we've got, mining companies looking at using this for remote workers out in the Pilbara, putting together conveyor belt splicing, all sorts of things. So the answer to that, Craig, was a little bit long-winded, but yes, you can have documents inside these video flows so they can view a document, watch a video. There is, so going back to Multiply, we were only 2 years old. So this software started 2 years ago from just a very basic toolbox talk, video toolbox talk system that we set up. And then it's expanded rapidly into lots of different areas, but my love is still in construction. So I love being in these environments. But document control, so you can actually have your own, you could have employee roles and responsibilities, your fire exit procedures, whatever documents you have, that document control is coming very soon to Multiply Me. So you could import all of your company documents, have them in the Multiply Me system. So when you were building video flows, or we were building them for you, we could just drag that document in. So you wouldn't have to, have it on a Google Drive or another shared storage system. So something really important to understand is that there's new things coming to this platform every week. which is exciting.
Just real quick, because we're just about out of time. One real quick thought I had that if there is a few black belt members that are using this system, I can envisage that you can actually share like videos between each other. So if somebody shot a video about something and it's a really cool one, other black belt members could get that and add it to their system, so their team members could access it. So that would be one really good way of getting a lot of really quality content. I mean, I just thought, imagine that something that Kyle might do, and everyone will go, I want that. So,
Nick, it just came to my thought then that you and I could even collaborate on creating, ladder safety, nail gun safety, like a couple of like safety 101 videos that need to be in there. But, that's another suggestion too. We could actually create a suite of generic ones for everybody to fast track some of that.
Yeah.
And
so
then
the conversation that we had about today, and I had a plan, and that plan's gone out the window because I just looked on the computer and it's changed things. But Luke is well, I'll let you talk about it, Luke. But you want to get a trial group together with a minimum and a maximum number, so it's manageable to build a process. And so it was going to be like a first in, best dressed. I had intended to do it in order of who RSVP'd first, but the tool shed has put everybody in order of their name alphabetically. So that is out the window. So I don't know how we're doing it. I think it's just a matter of if they contact you and take it from there, and like first in, best dressed as far as who gets to talk to you first.
Yep. How much time have we got, Mick? So we don't eat.
Just another 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, cool. So what I have been doing is approaching business coaching, building groups and all sorts of coaching groups, and putting an offer on the table for their members to go in and do a group coaching session with me. So instead of going one-on-one and building this platform together, between 3 and 5 people, I could run through a group coaching session, which would make it a whole lot cheaper. And what we're also looking at doing, Mick, is so this is a subscription-based platform to get the software in your hands, and then there's service aside of that. If you want us to help you put all this together, which is where most people go, and I highly recommend that because we just take all the guesswork out of it for you. That service will come down drastically if you go through as a group. And with the subscriptions, Mick, I wanted to donate a portion of that back to a charity that you guys invest in. And I think Mick has already said you guys have a charity. Is that right, Mick? Oh,
well, we kind of aligned with an organisation called TX, which is aligned with Trademutt. So TX are a bunch of I know therapists, and they just support people with mental health. Cool. And it'd be great to be able to support those guys and contribute to them because they do great work. Yep.
That's exactly what I'm all about, is a win for the client, you guys, a win for the person who brought us together, and then a win for a charity. And then obviously, instead of I'm working with one person, I can work with 3 or 5 at the same time and build Multiply Me faster and get our message out there. So if I can take 30 seconds, is anyone feeling like this is for them at this stage? Does it feel like something that could be of interest? Cool. So I would be in the same boat as you. I'd like to know what this is going to cost. So I'll jump onto something here quickly on our website, and our main program we call 20 modules in 20 days. So we've done this a few times, and what we're going to look for is, so just come down here. In the program, it goes for 20 days, and we're going to create 20 videos with you. Full support and access to me. I'll be your person running you through this, and we're going to identify, plan, and create what we call 4 kind of main overview modules. So there might be a process that has 5 or 10 steps in it. But we're going to create 4 of these main videos. And then from that, we're going to create another 16 small bite-sized toolbox talks from those videos, which we can automate and send out on your system. So you'll end up with 20 modules, a system that is completely up and running for you, modules allocated, staff onboarded, and you'll have experienced making videos with this system. So after this program, you will be right to go off and start producing your own videos, as opposed to having us there for support. You can bring us along for another program if you like. The amount of work in this is well over 20K. We do it for $7,000. But what I said to Mick, if we can get 3 people to go into a group, I'll do it for $3,995. And we will donate. We haven't come up with the amount, but maybe $500. Let's say it's $500 from every sign up into your charity. So 3 people jump on board and put $1,500 in, and then a portion of your subscription will go into your charity every month while you're on the system. Does anyone sound like that would be a program that they would be interested in at this point? Without, obviously there's more questions. Is that an interest for anyone on the call?
Well, I think it's probably best if you give them the contact detail, if you like, or whatever, just to reach out to speak to you individually. Yep. And then, you know, whoever reaches out, they can ask you all of their questions, and then you can decide when the sort of group is closed. So the first few people jump in, that's fine. And then
if there's more than 3, or if there's more than 5, we'll just split them back into 2 groups of 3.
Okay.
So there's no problem. But between 3 and 5 is what we can handle really well. And I just noticed there was a question in here from Andy saying you've already started making mini videos and keeping them in a folder. So that's good. A lot of people are heading this way.
Oh, it's the bloke downstairs
That's
painting
right.
the door.
No.
His phone was ringing.
That's not me. So maybe that's the best way. I think we've come up to the hour, Mick. So that is the best way. But
so best way to contact you? Do you want it by phone, email, or what?
Yeah, jump straight on the phone if you like, email, or jump on the website, multiplyme.com.au, and there's a contact form there. You can fill it out straight away and say, Luke, I want to talk about the program that we talked about on the tool shed.
Yeah.
But look, a phone call is great too.
Multiply Me. What was the rest of it?
Multiplyme.com.au.
Okay.
So
That's
I'd
multiply, not multiple.
say,
Oh,
multiply.
sorry.
Yep, that's okay.
I thought. There you go.
And
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew's done it. Well,
Good.
I'll just put my phone number in too if anyone wants to grab that now. 042. I will be free for the next couple of hours. So if you do want to jump on that right now, we can have a chat straight away.
oh, you just sent that to me for some reason.
Oh, it's only gone to Mick.
Private. Yeah.
I've already got your number.
Everyone. Sorry, guys. Now, like you, I would want to see more around the system. I'd want to see it work. So if there's an interest, please jump on, contact me straight away and say, Luke, I'm interested. And then let's have a meeting after that. I can show you the system. I can show you some testimonials of other people, other tradies that are using it and seeing how they're using it. And then from there, you've got some more information to know whether this is for you. But what I would say is that I'd like to put this group together by the end of April. So that gives us about 10 days, a little bit of thinking time where you can go back to your partners or business partners and make sure that this is the right move. And in that time, have a meeting with me on Zoom, ask all the questions that you need so you're comfortable to go forward.
Yeah.
Sounds
From
good.
my perspective, it seems like a good opportunity and idea, because in my mind, we've only really scratched the surface of what you could use this system for. It's like, it's not just for on site and things like that. There's so many administrative things that you could use it for. There's so many prospect coaching and qualifying ideas that this could be used for. Joel and Andy and I and Bonnie were talking about something in relation to the qualification process and getting people's minds in the right place without, you having to repeat things over and over. And this would be a great platform to be able to use, to be able to educate your prospects, to be able to check in with your clients, particularly with the scheduled process where it'll go out, once a week or once a month or whatever you set it to. But the whole concept of it, to me, and even in the name of it, Multiply Me, what we're talking about a lot in Black Belt at the moment is what are the activities that are multiplier activities. An activity where you can do something once and it returns you value well into the future. This ticks all of those boxes. It ticks the technology box. It ticks the ease of use box. It ticks the box where you don't have to go and buy all of the equipment that I went to buy to make videos and whatever. You've already got it in your pocket. It's called your phone. And if the thing to me that is missing is just the platform where all of this stuff sits on and can be distributed and refined. And that's what I think the Multiply Me platform delivers. So I would encourage you at very least to reach out, jump on the phone, ask specific questions. And if you get a group going, I think it's going to be an exciting thing. Because I just think it's the one thing that's missing from our process.
I could put in a meeting booking link too, just into the chat. Just give me 2 seconds and I'll do that.
Okay, we'll just copy it and then put it up in the dojo.
Yep. So this
Does
is
everybody know how to save a chat?
This is just 15-minute chat. I don't charge for any meetings. I would never do that. So if you want an hour to chat, that's fine. But there's a 15-minute booking link. If you want to grab a time in the next 10 days, let's do that. And I would encourage you, if you are thinking about it, just go onto the website, scroll down. There's some success stories there. And a lot of them are tradies at the moment. And when you watch their videos, you'll probably be surprised on what the videos they've made, how much it's changed their business. And that'll just help you, just get a look inside what we're doing. But yeah, I'm here to have a chat and would love to see more people using the system. And because I just see the results on the other side of what's happening for our members already. I know you guys have gone over time now, so everyone's got to get back to work. So thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you letting me have a talk and taking up your space today. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Andrew. Obviously, this is the sort of thing that we're trying to do. It's all about time, money, and meaning. And this is one system I think that is going to help free up and sort of systemize things, smooth things out, take things off your plate, give you more time. So reach out, have a conversation, give me some feedback, see where it goes. And please make sure you jump on and RSVP to Friday feedback. So we'll be there Friday to wrap up the week, share the wins, share the lessons, help each other out. So make sure you jump on there. So thanks, Luke. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on. We'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye. Sounded like Borat then. I didn't mean to.